It took the artist George Carlazzo 11 years to complete this masterpiece, finishing back in 1916. It feels less like a commuter hub and more like a giant, open-air, historical art gallery. Right outside the Grand Porto Cathedral stands a giant frozen in bronze. Let's rewind the clock over 1,000 years, 9th century at this time. He won the Moorish War, fortified the old Roman walls, spring people founded a brand new country, Portugal. When Bishop Hugo began building the cathedral around 1110, he needed a fortress, impenetrable walls, narrow arrow-slit windows, and those distinctive defensive battlements on the roof. Come here in the late afternoon. As the sun starts to set, the light hits the bronze armor of the statue perfectly, and you get a stunning, uninterrupted postcard view over the old city rooftops. It is easily one of the best and most historic photo zones in all of Porto. Between the tightly packed buildings, carrying the faint, rich scent of wood smoke, fresh espresso and grilled sardines from hidden kitchen windows, you can hear the distant murmur of chatter echoing off the stone walls long before you see where it's coming from. And then the shadows break, you step out into Ribera Square, and the energy of Porto hits you all at once. But the square is just a gateway. Walk just a few more paces past the arcade walls, and there it is, the mighty Douro River. It flows for nearly 600 miles, cutting through rocked canyons and carving out Spain and Portugal's most dramatic landscapes. Welcome to the Douro River Valley in Portugal, the oldest demarcated wine region in the world, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and a place where time doesn't just slow down. They call it the Rio do Ouro, the River of Gold. For centuries, this winding vein of water was a wild, untamed monster. So, this is the River of Gold. Well, at least it looks yellowish. The Douro River isn't just a destination, it's a mood. It's a rhythm of people dancing in the square, the taste of rich, complex vintage wine, and the landscape so dramatic, it almost feels fictional. Portugal has a word for deep, bittersweet longing, saudade. And trust me, the moment you leave this valley, you will understand exactly what that means. Our journey starts where the river meets the Atlantic Ocean. In the historic city of Porto, look closely at the water here, and you will see these unique wooden boats. They called rabelos. Before dams tamed the river in the 20th century, these crewmen rapids to float barrels of port wine down from the mountains to these very cellars. There is the reason that this looks like the Eiffel Tower. The nearby Maria Pia railway bridge was actually designed by Gustave Eiffel himself, and the Dom Luis Bridge was built shortly after by his business partner, Théophile Seyrig. What? These metal giants don't just connect two riverbanks, they stand as historical monuments to the industrial age, forming every single sunset of a Douro River. Yes, this view you can see is just when you made it to the middle of climbing, small compensation for big labor. And yes, you can see fortress look green and gold. If there is one rule for traveling Douro Valley, it's this: always take the climb. We are hiking up through the schist stone terraces to find a higher vantage point, and honestly, my legs are burning. From the distance, I can see the fortress, which means in 10 minutes we are about to reach the top of the bridge. I didn't know for sure. The ground we are standing on is actually the roof of a railway. We finally made it. We are standing right here on the historic railroad bridge. There is nothing quite like the perspective from these tracks. For over a century, these very rails have been the lifeline of Douro, carrying travelers and harvest workers through tunnels and across canyons that roads simply couldn't reach. Standing out here over the water, suspended between the iron of the past and the massive cliffs ahead, you realize this is just a way of crossing the river. It's a front row seat to soul of the Portugal. From up here, the water looks impossibly still, mirroring the sky and the steep green terraces. It travels along the very top deck, suspended hundreds of the feet in the air, moving commuters and travelers effortlessly between two worlds. One moment you're looking at an engineered marvel from the 19th century, and the next symbol of modern transit is gliding past you, framed perfectly against the timeless backdrop of the Douro. Leaving the iron heights behind, we make our way down to the water's edge, stepping onto the vibrant riverside promenades of Cais de Ribeira. Down here, the scale completely changes. The massive bridge now towers over us like a monument, and you can truly feel the proximity of the water. We begin walking along the banks, following the steady current westward toward the sea. As the bustling cafes of the old town slowly fade behind us, the salty Atlantic breeze begins to mix with hot air of the valley. Down here, the views are total cinematic flex. You've got the rich dark wood of these traditional Ravella boats bobbing on water. So blue it looks like a laundry detergent commercial. So, don't forget to take a picture here before you move on. The air gets crisper, the breeze picks up, and there's that distinct salty mist hitting your face. You don't even need to look at the map to know what's happening. The sea is right there. Walked almost 1 hour from the bridge. My skin is burning. I can't wait to cool down a bit. Look at these seagulls flying overhead, down by the bridge. They were just city birds looking for scraps. Out here, they look like the poetry in motion, riding the sea winds. The grand finale. The stone walls are completely gone, replaced by a massive stretch of sand beach. We officially made it to Atlantic. Watch this little guy. He had one clear absolute mission in life: to catch himself a local seagull with his bare hands. And my mission in life? Grilled chicken and a massive slice of watermelon on the Atlantic coast for me to refill my energy. Honestly, there is no better way to end the journey. Good food, a cool breeze, and a view that wipes away all the streets of the week. The only downside? My friend over here. Look at him. He's already plotting a tactical strike on my lunch. I can see it in his cold avian eyes. You touch my chicken? Bro. And we are going to have a real problem. I think this seagull is the most passionate thief among them. If he gets down, I am willing to share my food to him, just like my mom used to say. Oh my god, it's right above me. Maybe soon. But it didn't happen. The beach surprises you. Right next to the sand, this wooden deck has turned into an impromptu sunset dance party. This is the heartbeat of Portugal, completely spontaneous, warm, and full of life. Why am I sitting here? I will look like a faulty washing machine on the spin cycle. This sunset is making me even more lonely. Alright, thankfully, the boring party is over. The seagulls won the leftover chicken, and my feet are officially done. It is time to head back to reality. The bus 906 doesn't seem like operating based on this timetable. I had bad experience before. Last time when I believed this timetable, I waited for 3 hours outside in the middle of nowhere. Wait a sec. This stick insect is really looks like stick, literally. Luckily, the travel gods are smiling on us because the 906 bus just pulled up. For a couple of euros, this is basically the ultimate budget scenic tour back to the city center. Just when you think you've seen the best view of the day, the 906 route completely over-delivers. Look out the window. As we wind back up the hills, we are passing this quiet little riverside village tucked into the cliffs. Under this sunset, the whole place looks like a watercolor painting. As we cross back over from the south side, you get one last epic look at the river valley and the city lights glowing across the river. What a ride! From a golden valley and historical iron bridges to a beach picnic and a sunset dance, the duo completely delivered. One of the best parts of the ride is definitely when passing through this bridge, connecting south to north. The river is still showing us the color of pure, shining gold. There is something incredibly peaceful about watching the world slow down from the window of a local bus. The rush of the beach party fades out. The city lights are blinking awake across the water, and you get this quiet, perfect moment to just process everything you've seen today. Good morning from Porto. Day 2 is officially underway, and if you think my eyes look a little puffy, it's because of 906 bus got me back late. We are heading straight to the legendary Mercado de Bolhão. This isn't just a market, it's a century-old temple of food, gossip, and the absolute best pastries in Portugal. Oh wow, the smell in here is an immediate spiritual experience. Bolhão was originally opened back in 1914. And it recently got a massive multi-million-dollar facelift. They managed to keep all the historic gritty charm while making it look incredibly sleek. Down on the ground floor, it is a pure sensory overload. You've got traditional fishmongers who have been working here for decades, shouting across the aisle, alongside modern stores selling fruits, artisanal cheeses, olives, spices and wines. Our immediate mission? Locate the nearest bakery stall, because if I don't get a pastry in the next 30 seconds, this travel vlog is turning into a survival documentary. Yep, that is the stuff. Crispy, flaky, warm custard heaven, sitting up here on the balcony watching the city wake up and shop. There is literally no better way to start a morning in Porto. With our morning pastries successfully demolished, we are walking out of the market area and heading straight toward the ultimate skyline king of Porto, the Clergos Church. You can basically see its massive tower from anywhere in the city, acting like a giant 18th century compass needle guiding us up the hill. Welcome to the fantastic world of Portuguese sardines. I am not exaggerating, this is literally a carnival dedicated entirely to canned fish. The major tourist attraction known for their whimsical, circus-like atmosphere. Every single tin here is color-coded with a specific year on it, listing major historical events or celebrities born that year. It's the ultimate marketing genius. They've turned buying a snack into a quest to find your own birth year. After escaping the circus of canned fish, we take a short walk over to Praça de Batalha to see a building that looks like it was literally wrapped in a blue and white porcelain blanket. These tiles aren't just random decorations, there are over 11,000 of them meticulously covering the facade, telling stories from the 18th century. So beautiful that you completely forget you've just walked up another massive hill. Alright my friends, Porto has been an absolute dream, but it is officially time for the next chapter of the Portuguese adventure. I just booked the FlixBus to head south to Lisbon. And right on cue, our giant green chariot has officially arrived at the station. For less than a price of fancy cocktail back in the city center, we've got a free Wi-Fi, power outlets, and a guaranteed window seat for the 3.5-hour cruise down the coast. Very familiar intricate white steel vaulted arches that resemble a forest of palm trees, covered by a large glass canopy. We are here, Lisbon. Lisbon has this incredible tradition where they commission famous local artists to design individual subway stations. You can easily see something like this. If you wanna save your money, you can book a hotel near Alameda station. It's cheap and it's also located nearby park.
Máquina de lavar. Okay, no wash machines. Only tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, the girls are
Very simple decoration of the house is the most beautiful thing when the darkness lay down on this small village. The day we are going to the park, there is an unexpected surprise. This isn't just a basic hot dog stand operation. They are doing full-scale open-fire barbecue out here. Look at the size of the meat. If Luffy of One Piece is here, he is going to be so happy about this. Good music, incredible food, and a park full of people just celebrating life in the night. It's still a little bit hot, but you can drink anything here. Hold everything. Amidst all the heavy pork and chicken, I just found the absolutely holy grail of Portuguese street grilling. Fresh anchovies on the open fire. Okay, as if the festival couldn't get any better, the clerks running the grill are absolute legends. Incredibly kind with a beautiful smile. They just handed me this beautifully charred extra skewer completely for free.
One beer.
This is the absolute peak of Lisbon's summer energy. My hands are sticky, my belly is full, and I honestly never want to leave this park. The absolute best part of this entire park isn't even the free food. Look around. This festival is just one massive celebration of community. From tiny toddlers to grandparents, completely letting loose and dancing together.